Hello everyone, it's Dio from Firm But Fair Gaming, bringing you another Diablo 3 video. Welcome everyone. Today we are going to be covering a power leveling and gearing guide for your alternate characters. So this will be your second and further characters. Most useful for seasonal play in which you want to play several characters throughout the season. So it'll be a little bit focused on that. So basically, let's get started and just show you how we want to do this. So there are two different ways that you can be powered leveled to reach level 70. The first way is you could do it yourself, and the second way is you could have a friend or just search in general and ask for a power level and somebody else can do it for you. So if you have somebody that is going to power level you, it is much quicker because they will be able to they should be level 70, and so therefore the monsters that you'll be facing when you're in the game will be level 70 and worth more experience. So I'm going to take you through the introductory or the setup steps that you want to do, and then we'll show you what actually happens or how fast it actually is. So first things first, in the game setup, whether you are by yourself or with somebody else, you want to change it to adventure mode, and then we're going to change the difficulty to Torment 6. That is the highest torment that you can be prior to level 70, and if you have somebody in your group, and even if somebody is level 70 in your group, and you're below level 70, this is the highest torment that you can go. So we're going to go in, create that, so we're in adventure mode, we're going to start the game. So this is on the solo, so I'm by myself. If I was getting power leveled by somebody else, they would create the game, because otherwise, see up in the top right, it says Torment level 6, and then the level 1. If they were to create the game and they were level 70, it would say level 70, meaning the monsters in this game are level 70. So what we want to do when we start off is we are going to want to, and this will assume you have a little bit of materials previously gathered. So knowing that we're going to get power leveled, we're going to want to build the Cain set. So we're going to go over here to the armor. We're going to build the Cain sandals, or the boots. And so the reason we want this is the 3-piece bonus, and the second one there is we get 50% extra experience while leveling, 5% when we're at 70, so we're going to want to wear that. So we want the boots and the helmet. And then we're also going to want Cain's memory, which is the helmet. And what we want to do here is hopefully we have a soul shard, or like for the sliver of terror. So we just want to put that on the helm because we got the 41% extra XP from that. So we're going to want to have that. And then hopefully you have a gem of ease leveled up that is, hopefully just you have decent levels on a gem of ease, because it gives bonus experience when monsters are killed. So we're going to want to do that because that will also boost our ability to level up fast. And then we're just going to go over here. I'll have to go back there because we need our weapon. I just want to, if I have a Ring of Royal Grandeur in my cube, which I do, I want to put that on, so I only need to have the 2 pieces for the Cain set. If I had like a Hellfire ring, I could also wear that. But then we also need a weapon for our wizard to put the Gem of Ease in, because of course the Gem of Ease reduces your item requirement of an item down to level 1. So I'm just going to look here for a weapon that my wizard can use, which should be a dagger. So I'm going to just slide that in there. So now it's going to have the one, I'm going to have a lot of damage, except for, of course, I pick my Z support one. So I'm going to just switch this because that dealt no damage, because that's my Z Barb's weapon. I'm going to put that in my Ingium, so now we have 35,000 damage at level 1, which is pretty ridiculous, so we're OP. And then I'm going to put my Sliver of Terror into my helm. And so when I reach level 23, I'm going to be able to put these on and start receiving the extra benefit of the bonus XP. So this is kind of the setup you want to have at the start. If you're going to be by yourself, you can always remember to go down here and hire a follower. So I'll just grab the Templar for fun. And then basically what you want to do is you would also hopefully have a cow stick, so a bovine bardage. If you do not, you can just walk into a Nephilim Rift, but I'm going to show you the most efficient way to go about doing this. I might as well throw in my Paragon, because you'll want to do that. Throw in all your Paragon. when you're a little bit low, like at new, I want to put in a couple points into vitality, and then I'll just throw the rest into my intellect here for more damage. And then basically you want to go into a cal level. So depending on which way you want to go, if you're doing it solo or whether you're getting somebody to power level you for you, you just want to make sure that if the person is doing it for you, hopefully they know what they're doing, or you can tell them that they just have a gem of ease equipped into their weapon, so you get that bonus XP. Because the bonus XP is shared in a group setting, you get, it's a combined thing. So the socket in their helm is going to give you XP, and then any bonus XP on their gear, plus the bonus of the gem of ease in their weapon. And then they should have a Nemesis Bracers equipped, so when if they're going through the Cal level or even an F-Riff, if they click a pylon, it's spawning those elites, which are going to give bonus XP. And if you're doing it solo, then hopefully you have a Nemesis Bracers in your cube, so you can equip it. And then I have also thrown on a Furnace just for the extra damage if I spawn elites to fight it when I was doing the solo. So those are the two different ways. You kind of want to make sure that if you're getting power level, they're doing their part to maximize the plus experience to help make it quicker. And also, additionally, as you have the 2-piece bonus, if you happen to have an additional Ring of Royal Grandeur in your bank, you could put it on your follower and craft them a set so that when they hit level, like when you're 23, because they share your level, they'll also be 23. They could also wear that set because you get 20% of the bonus experience that your follower has. So it would also help you level faster. Now, just to show you a bit of a comparison, I did a solo and a group level. So on the left, I have solo where it's just me. So I'm going to pop the cow and step in. And on the right, I have a getting power level for me. So as we jump in, you can just see a really fast exploding levels on the left. And then we're just sitting here, and there was actually a pretty slow start on the power level because there just was no trash around the entrance. But as soon as it starts, you can just see it catapulting. So if I just pause these two videos here, pause this one, and I'll pause this one. So if we go and compare, so we've only been in there not too long, so level 42 in the group. And if I blow this up, we are a little bit ahead here because again, we had more mobs at the start, so already we're level 50. So it's incredibly fast to level up at the start. But now we're going to see the big difference between doing it yourself and doing it in a group setting. So I'll just move this back down and grab it properly. So now as we're in the level 50, this is where it really starts to slow down for the solo. So we're just going to unpause these videos. There you go. Now in the group, it's just going to keep going. We're slowly getting levels on our solo, but on the right, you know, we're just flashing every like 10 seconds or less, so we're just getting incredibly fast levels. So already now we're into level 61 here on the group. So whereas on the other side we're still at level 52, we're just slowly plugging along. As you can see, it's having more issues killing things on the left, whereas on the right with the power level we're just constantly getting all those levels. So we're going to keep just watching to see the big difference. So again, on the left, the solo is having trouble now. Nothing's being one-shot. Whereas on the right, obviously the level 70 that's power leveling us is still just blasting through everything. And we're just getting all those levels as we go. And basically we're just standing still in here. We've equipped our gear. As soon as we hit level 3, we equipped our gear. Or 23 to get the bonus XP, and then we just stand there and wait while they kill absolutely everything on the map. And you don't, hopefully they don't open any chests while they're going through, because you want to hit level 70 and then go through and open up those chests, because it's on a T6, you might actually find a couple legendary pieces while as soon as you open them when you hit level 70. So we're up to level 64. Things have slowed down a little bit, getting near the end of the map. And also don't forget to equip your follower. As you can see in the solo there, I just equipped my, not my follower, but my pet to collect gold for me. And over there, I am up to, let's just pause these here. Let's see how we're doing on this. So let's see the level comparison. We are 56. So in all that time, we gained like 4 levels. And over here, we are level 67. So just resume these. So we're pretty much done on the group play. The map was almost over. I think I hit 68 and then I needed to jump into a ref, maybe even 69. So sometimes when you're getting the power level, the cal level doesn't do it completely and you're almost there. So you would just open up a Nephilim Rift and step through and the power level would resume. You would just stand at the start of the level while your carry would go through and finish out getting you to 70. And on the left, as you can see, I just died there on solo. We encountered the Cal boss level boss, so it's actually a little bit tanky, and we're not one-shotting anymore, so it's actually quite slow. So it's just like still stuck at level 56, and now we're having to put in a lot more effort. The levels from 50 to 70 actually really slow down on solo. So that part can take like 20 minutes or so. So ideally, if you can find somebody to power level you for you, I would go ahead and do that. So as you can see here, we just open up a Nephrif. He's at 69 in the group play, and he's going to hit 70 really, really quick. And then on the solo play, I'm still going to be stuck at level 56. Now, this is only a few minutes worth of gameplay, so like in 3 minutes, I'm level 56. But in the group setting, in about 3.5 minutes, I'm level 70, just for comparison purposes. And it'll still take me probably 20 minutes or so on the solo side to finish off leveling just with how it's going so far as I died again. So that kind of is a comparison as to how the two different modes work. Obviously, when you get the carry through, it's much, much faster. So if you have a friend that plays or a clanmate or just spam general, the community is pretty good at power leveling or just being helpful in general. So I would recommend going that route. So now you're 70 and it's time to gear out your character. So you got to decide what you want to do. Do you have a set in mind? Do you not have a set in mind? Not sure what to do? So what I like to do on a new character, especially if it's not one I'm overly familiar with, so I have a few that I main in, and so I know exactly what I'm doing when I make that character and get it to 70. But in other characters, I'm not so sure. So in this instance, I'm a wizard. It is not one of my go-to heroes, so I'm not sure what I want to do. All I know is I want to be able to push with it and have fun in some higher keys. So what I want to do is I'm going to consult the leaderboard and see what's going on there. So I can see what the top GR here is in season 25 for Wizard, and I can see that it's the Firebird set with the All Guilds as well. I can check out the other sets, so if I just want to look at the Firebird specifically, here's how it's doing. 140, so it's obviously the highest right now. Then we got Veers, which is 130. And we got the Magnum Opus, it is even less. And then we got Tal Rashas, so they could be either not as many people playing them because it's not the go-to tier, or it's just underwhelming, like it's less damage. So it looks like anyways that the Firebird's Finery is the one that I should be striving for. So what I like to do is why not check out what the number one guy is doing and see what he's doing. So he's using the All Guilds. He's got the Death Wish and his itemization. So what I generally do is, because this isn't one that I'm familiar with, I will just screenshot the armory of the number one guy, because why not? If he's number one, he obviously knows what they're doing. So then I'm going to have a screenshot of the items that I'm going to be making. So now I know what I'm after, and if I get lost at any point, I can go back and consult that. So now I know what I'm making, I might as well just go about making it. So through playing the game, we're going to accumulate resources. So you might have some bounty materials, or more importantly, the crafting materials is what we're going to be using to make the set. So I have almost 7,000 reusable parts, almost 18,000 arcane dust, and 4,400 veiled crystals, and a ton of death breaths. So the reason that this is important, because on our crafting table, or not crafting table, but Kanai's Cube, on page 3, we can do upgrade a rare item, and it turns into a legendary through the Hope of Cain. And so what we could do is use that to try to craft the pieces that we're needing. So now the items that we were wearing here are no longer relevant, so I'm just going to throw them into my bank and start from scratch. And this is just a blue I picked up while I was doing the solo level. That ended up taking a while longer. So now that's done. What we can do is we can either go straight to our blacksmith and start crafting items at level 70 and then go and do the upgrade Cane of Hope, or because I have 1800 of soul shards here, I can go to Kadala and spend some of my soul shards and see what gamble and see what she's going to give me. So as we can see here, she gave a bunch of stuff. So one thing that's important to note is when you are upgrading your items is to make sure that you can upgrading the right type. So as you can see here, I have a rare helm, and then I also have a wizard hat. So our set piece, if we go back and look at the leaderboard here, of course, then it wants to be slow. But basically, it's most likely to be a wizard hat, so we want to make sure when we're doing the upgrade, the Cain of Hope, that we are upgrading a wizard hat and not a helm, otherwise we'll never have a chance to get the piece that we're looking for. So we just do that, upgrade, and get it turned into a legendary. We didn't get the one we're looking at, but now we have our first legendary piece for our gear set. And depending on how many resources you have available, you might focus just specifically on one item, or you might want to just spread it around and get yourself decked out in all level 70 items and then focus in on a specific piece. I'm going to try again, see what we got for a second hat. So this one is a little bit more toughness. We might be squishy off the start, so I'll just wear that one. And so I'm just going to basically do that. I'm going to go to Kadala and I'm going to buy a little bit of each piece, and then I'm going to go about upgrading those to see what I'm going to start, what I have to work with at the start. So I'm just going to buy a little bit of each piece, and this is basically how I'm going to go about gearing out my character. So we're going to come over here to the cube again, upgrade. So I ended up with some shoulders, so I guess I'll just start with the chest piece. Ended up getting a useless piece pretty much. And so we're just going to go through and upgrade and see what kind of gear we get to start with, and this will be a decent starting point anyways. So far we haven't got any of the set pieces that we're actually looking for, but it's a starting point, and that's all we're really after. So what I might do now is just upgrade a couple of my other pieces. So I ended up getting a Veer set piece instead, so not quite the one I'm looking for, but at least it is a set. And here we got a Typhoon's Veil. So as you can see, we're starting to get set pieces. Let's do a couple more of these just to see. Blackthorn's not what we're looking for, but this is basically the practice that you want to do. And through a few thousand crafting materials, you have a good chance of getting the set you're looking for, or if you don't get the complete set, you're going to get a good chance at it. So here we go there. We got Talrasha. So as you can see, we're getting a little bit of each set. Not quite got one that we want, so there's Magnum Opus. Another shoulders here for the Typhoon set. So that's actually a good example you can do. So as we have lots of Death Breaths and we have Forgotten Souls, as you can see, we have two of the Typhoon's Veil. Typhon's Veil. I don't know why I keep saying Typhoon, but anyway, Typhon's Veil. And so we can see which one is the better stats on it. So this one has better stats, Vitality, Intellect, Armor, Life Regen, for the start anyway. So what we could do is we could put this here and go in Transmute Set Item, and now we have a second piece for that set. And so if we had actually got the set that we're looking for, that's another way we could go about fully gearing out the set that we're trying to build. So I'm just going to go back to our Hope of Cain here and make a couple more pairs of legs and see what we win here. Another Opus piece. Another Veils piece. So now we got 3-piece Veil. So if we actually would equip that, and then it might be a good starting point, at least for being able to clear Nephilim Rifts and clear our solo 70 or 75 to unlock T15 and T16. So that's not a bad start. So then we're just going to equip a few more. There we go. We got our first Firebird set, so that's awesome. Going to make another pair of pants, another pair of boots, and so this is kind of what we're going to do, is just rinse and repeat. Oh, and then we got another Veil set, so now we're 4-piece there. So this is a good start, at least being able to let us go out and do Nephilim Rifts or Greater Rifts and start to gear up while we're searching for the Firebird set that we're actually after. So just going to make a couple more. So now we got another piece for the Magnum Opus. So we could do another conversion there, a set conversion. So like for example, we have the legs and we got 2 pair of gloves. So we're just going to Now let's reroll these ones, reroll that one, and now we have a chess piece, so now we have 3 pieces for that as well. So let's say though, during our crafting process here, I'm just going to buy, what do I want to buy here? Let's buy some more chest armor. Anyways, so let's say we go through here, and as you can see there, we got lucky, and we got another set piece, and it's for Talrashas. But let's say through our crafting process, as we were doing our upgrade or Hope of Cain, we ran out of, let's say, reusable parts or veiled crystals. What we could do is we can use the last 3 pages in the book. So this would convert 100 usable parts. So on page 7 here, the Pleasure of Ivan Fad, it would convert 100 reusable parts into whatever kind of item you put in here. So if you were to put in a white or blue item, it would turn give you 100 arcane dust. If you put in a yellow, it would give you 100 veiled crystals. So for example, if we were to do this, we now have 100 veiled crystals and we lost 100 reusable parts. Similarly, on Regret of Ivan, it would convert an item. If we put in a white item or a yellow item, it will convert 100 arcane dust into 100 of that. So seeing as we have 16,000 and change here for the arcane dust, and we're down to 3,000 veiled crystals, we might want to do this a few times to give us more veiled crystals. So here we're going to just do this a few times, and it's going to help us build up our resources again. Since we have 16,000, we need more of the others. We're just going to do that. And so this is a good way to even out your resources so that while you're doing the crafting, it is always the same. So that being said, there's also, because white items are hard to find sometimes. So what you can do is you can check the vendors, and sometimes they sell white items that you would then can use in the cube. So I'm looking here. So here, for example, we got a few of these. So then we can come back. There's the vendors and all the action. You just walk up to them and see what they have. And then you could come back here. And so we want to go to page 8 because that's where we're converting our arcane dust. Then you can just start doing that, and we're gaining the 100 reusable parts, which is then going to enable us to go back to being able to do the Hope of Cain and upgrading items to legendaries and trying to complete our set. So sometimes what happens is while you're building a set, you are having trouble getting what you're actually trying to build, but you end up building a completely different set. So here we ended up getting the Typhon's Veil completed. So we got 5 pieces and we're using the Ring of Royal Grandeur. So we get the 6. So what we could do is then start using this to go and complete our bounties, Nephilim Rifts and Greater Rifts to farm gear. So what I might do here is then instead of that, I'll just go and consult the leaderboard again, because again, I'm not as familiar with being a wizard. And then I would just screenshot that build and utilize that as my new starting point and slowly work towards building the actual set that I want. So they are using, so now I have a screenshot of that and see it's a pet-based build and the different items that I need to make. And then I would go about starting to work on that set as opposed to building the set that I was, because while I'm using the set, I might be better able to farm the set that I'm trying to make as opposed to just spending all my resources on crafting that set because I could run out. And ultimately, we're just trying to get geared up where we can start playing the game and start either getting the set that we need or starting to push rifts and that sort of thing and starting to enjoy playing the character. So we actually ended up lucking out, and while we were trying to complete our Typhon's Veil, we were crafting a bunch of sources and we ended up getting a ton of the Firebird ones, which we were then able to do the set conversion to complete our build. So my resources here, so I had about 4,400 veiled crystals and I converted about 600. So let's say I had about 5,000 at the start. So with about 5,000 materials, I was actually able to craft a complete set that I was looking for. And again, this is just mirroring off the number 1, as I'm not that familiar with wizards myself. So that being said, now that we have our full gear, checked again, outlined our buttons the same way, our skills are all outlined mirroring that. And now we're going to just put in our soul shards. So again, I consulted what they were doing in order to get a head start as I slowly start to play with this and figure it out. So got my soul shards in, and the gems that I have are supposed to be Tagak, Bane of the Trap, and Stricken. So I'm just looking at my gear. I need gem slots onto these two, so I'm just going to quickly roll these on. So we're able to get the sockets on, so now we're all set. Our Paragon points are in, our skills are set up, we got all our items on. Mirroring number 1, now we're ready to test it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump into, I'm just going to pick somewhere, jump in, and I know from default that I'm going to want my magic weapon and my diamond skin on. I'm not going to go through the actual build in this one, I'll do a different video for that. Just warp around and get a sense of what I am supposed to do. So I just teleported. Of course, there seems to be no enemies anywhere. So as I can see, this is just on a T6 because I didn't change it. So I'm obviously destroying everything here. And we got the benefits of already having leveled up gems. So I'm just going to blink around. So I get the idea of what I'm supposed to do. So now I want to unlock my T15 or T16. I think I can do a T16, so I'm just going to go back to town here, kill that. That was going to interrupt my TP, and I'm just going to go into a greater rift and unlock my T16 because ultimately that's what we want to do. So obviously if you weren't able to get the top set, which we were just fortunate to do, we would figure out what our starting point would be accordingly. So I think I'm confident I can do the T16. So this will allow me to do bounties with everybody else that's already at max level. So as you can see, we're not really having any trouble here. Oh, I got feared. So we're probably going to be okay here. So freezing everything, jumping on top. Again, I'm not overly familiar with what my buttons do. I'm just trying to unlock the number 1. If I wanted to do the build, I might look for a build video, which I'll actually be doing for this build after this. But this is, again, just to show you, kind of get the idea of what to do when you're power leveling and gearing up your character. So as you can see here, we're already miles ahead of the timer. We're definitely going to be able to unlock our T16 here. So just going to keep blinking forward. So what you need to do is, just like I said, we're going to get to 70 really quick. Hopefully you can get a power level. Then we're going to spend our resources using Cain of Hope or convert set items as we need to in order to get the set that we're looking for. It would have been nice if I had to set up my follower here with the NEMs, but I forgot and did not. So we're going to, and then once you get the set, or at least the items that you think you can push with, you can either go and unlock the highest difficulty that you think you could do right away. So here I'm confident I'll be able to unlock a T16 by doing a greater rift 75. If you don't think you can do that, then go accordingly and pick the GR that you think you can accomplish. And then once you do have that unlocked, if you weren't able to unlock a T16, you can look and start to join like a group, groups that are either going to be farming Nef rifts or be farming actual GRs or maybe even bounties. Or you can even search in general and ask if there's any loot share groups that are going on. So you can easily find that as well. And that'll help you get the gear that you're looking for to help you get to where you unlock the T16 or find the remaining pieces of the set that you're looking for. So that's your various options. And then just through playing, you're going to get more familiar with your set. You can take the time and read all your abilities in more detail, but ultimately, like right now, we're just looking to unlock the T16, which is why we didn't spend a lot of time looking at all of our buttons. Also, if you're familiar with the game and played a fair bit, you get a good idea or gist of, by watching it and having seen other wizards or whatever class you happen to be while you're playing, you get a sense of what they can do. And so here we are just flying through this. We're almost done, almost got our T16. Where are we at? 84%, and don't even need to worry about the time because we're so far ahead. So here we are, just going to wrap this up. And again, if I had to equip my follower, I'd be even closer to done because I would have had that NEMS on them, but I didn't because I wasn't thinking. So here we go here. We're almost there. We're at 96%. Apparently I took a very bad route there. Wasn't really looking at the map. 98, come on, almost here. There we go, here's another pack. Oh, might as well click this, get a power, and we're pretty much going to one-shot this guy. Pretty much like that. So now we've unlocked, so that took us just over 3 minutes, and we've unlocked T16, so now we can join bounties and public groups for Nef rifts, greater rifts, and all that sort of fun stuff. So this concludes our power leveling and gearing alt videos. So of course, alt being our second or more characters. If you have any questions or comments, please let us know below and we will answer them as best we can. If you have different strategies that you use while doing this, while gearing and power leveling alts, please let us know. Always happy to have that conversation, maybe learn something ourselves. We don't know everything and we enjoy learning anything we can about this game because we love Diablo 3. As always, I hope you've enjoyed the video. We appreciate any likes, shares, and subscribes. And I hope you're enjoying Season 25, and we'll see you at the next video.